from where we had left. On Saturday, we had completed something which was called as the economic and non-economic activities. A brief idea was taken which all activities do come in the purview of economic activities and which all activities do not come in economic activities, and hence we put them in non-economic activities. Thing was very simple, that those are things which are going to give us the money in lieu of the service or the product जिसके बदले में हमको पैसा मिले, वो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज और बहुत सारी ऐसी एक्टिविटीज हैं जिनको हम कर रहे हैं बट वी डोंट गेट द मनी इन रिटर्न ऑफ इट डूइंग, एंड वी आर नॉट गेटिंग द मनी. दोज आर नॉन इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज. नाउ मूविंग फर्दर, we will be going into something which is called as the structure of Indian economy. Now, structure itself is very important. In class 8, you had learned in social science about the various economic activities, and which we had a certain differentiation done of the various activities. Morning, Dhruvi, here, Winkle, Dia, Rafat. What the basic structure of Indian economy is. In the very initial phase, we had talked about that India is an agrarian country. That means agriculture is the main occupation. But is it possible that we can only have the agrarian structure possible without actually not having other sources? And this is what we are going to learn, that the various economic activities which is going to give me the money can be further classified, can be broken up into various other segments or sectors, morning Yaksh, which is going to be primarily divided into three main sectors or provisions. The first one is going to be the primary sector. Followed by it, I will be having the secondary sector, and followed further, we will be having the service sector. Morning, Yash. What all exactly we are going to learn in this particular topic? So various occupations and economic activities we are going to divide into certain pockets, छोटी छोटी हिस्सों में divide कर देंगे, so that it becomes for us to understand what exactly the whole economic activities is all based upon. Remember, we are just exclusively picking up the economic activities. हमने non-economic activities को side में कर दिया. What your mother and father do for you, you know, that thing is a non-economic activities. We are not going into the depth of it. We will be just moving exclusively for the economic activities. Now, the first one is the primary activity. The primary activity is going to be all those economic activities which are going to give you the money, but the source of income is going to be the natural factors. एक सिंपल वर्ड के अंदर में अगर हम समझने की बात करें तो जो कुछ भी नेचुरल प्रोसेस के थ्रू पैसा कमाने के तरीके निकल कर आते दिखते हैं, उन सबको हमने प्राइमरी सेक्टर में डाल दिया. सो एग्रीकल्चर और agriculture related activities. Now what are agriculture related activities you are talking about? I have got sugarcane produced in the field. It is agriculture activity. And I am crushing the sugarcane to produce sugar. That is agriculture related activity. So all those activities which are going to be primarily focusing on agriculture or agriculture products or related products, including rearing of cattle, गाय भैंस पालना, or cattle breeding, We are trying to produce more and more offsprings of the cattle, or fishing, poultry. Then we have got is the collection of forest products. You go into the jungle, you go into the forest, you collect various herbs, shrubs, or medicinal plants, or you talk about honey collection, the fruit collection. All this is the forest product. Mining of raw material. Other day we had talked about something called as the ore, the highly concentration of certain minerals which are found within the soil. So what we are doing, we are extracting it out. We are taking it out. We are taking the whole soil out, which has got a higher concentration of that particular mineral. These are all those certain examples which are going to come into the subcategory of structure of Indian economy by the name of primary sector. So क्या समझ में आया? That those activities which are primarily focusing upon the natural products. No doubt we are doing some labor, मेहनत करनी है, but the output is going to be dependent upon something which is called as the primary sector, natural resources combination. Morning Vraj, Jayesh, Shankar. So agriculture or agriculture related products or dependent products such as cattle rearing, or we talk about is the cattle breeding processes, or we are talking about the fishing, we are talking about the poultry farms where chicken are basically reared for either meat or eggs, or we are talking about collection of the forest products and the resource obtained through mining, digging up the earth, taking out the extract. We call it as a primary sector. Now this primary sector is incomplete without the second sector which we are going to learn. So what we have done, we have talked about the primary sector. And after completion of primary sector, we will be moving on to something which is called as the secondary sector. Now is the season where lots and lots of mangoes are found in the market, isn't it? But after a couple of weeks or months, the whole product will vanish. Either it is going to get consumed, so gets rotten up, thrown away, distributed, whatever it is happening. And in the month of October, in case I feel like having the mango, I am left with one choice, that I can have something called as the mango pulp. Now what exactly is that particular product is? I have, in the time of harvest, that is the present time, I have taken certain mangoes, squashed them up, taken out the pulp, put it into certain containers and put it into refrigerator or whatever the process is. And after certain period of time, whenever requirement is there, I'm having it. So what we are seeing is that small process has taken place, where the natural products are now getting converted into some another usable form to be consumed by us. And that is the second topic, that is the secondary sector. So so next stage, primary followed by the secondary. And in this scenario, what we see is that there are certain small and large scale industries which help in this conversion of the said products. We can have the factories being present, which are helping in doing certain more processes. We see the constructions. We see the requirement of electricity for all those processes to get completed. The gas and water supply is going to be there. These are all included in the second sector, which is known as the secondary sector. And because what we see is that industry is playing a vital role in it, so we see lots and lots of manufacturing. And this industry or this sector is also known as the manufacturing sector. Manufacture, to produce. And what we are getting in the production form is the raw material getting processed, converted, rechanged, rescheduled, remolded. Lot many activities are taking place which can be utilized by us in the due course, which is called as life. जब जी रहे हो आपको काम आता रहेगा. तो क्विक रिविजन वापस इसी चीज पर. Small and large scale industries, factories, construction, electricity, gas, water supply, these are all certain points which are going to get included in the secondary sector, and this section is also acknowledged, accepted as industry, which includes production from the small pins to gigantic machines. And for that reason, we see the manufacturing taking place. We call it as the manufacturing sector also. So we had the raw material, we manufactured it. The third one, what is the third sector which we see? We call it as the tertiary sector, also called as the service sector. Again, let us go back on the example of the mango. So mango has been produced, it is there, it is harvested, it can be in the raw form or ripened form. I can be converting it into the pulp also, but all that thing is not going to get consumed here. Let us talk about exclusively Navsari, Valsad area. Sara ka Sara. You've got thousands of tons of mangoes getting produced. We are not going to get it consumed here itself because the quantity is too much and the people are very few. Quantity is big, people are few. So what we are going to do? We will be looking for certain persons who might be interested in purchasing the same products but a little far away. Let us talk about Surat, Vadodara, we talk about Ahmedabad, we talk about Bhopal, we talk about Delhi. And what exactly is happening now, we are talking about something which is called as a trade. So products are being manufactured, either taken in the raw form, two products are available, but the service sector is going to be the one, or the second, this tertiary sector is going to be the one which actually helps in making those products move from one place to another. Now see what all things are required. We require certain persons whom we call as traders. You know, one is going to sell, another is going to purchase. Then I need something which is called as the telecommunication. How could someone sitting in Delhi knows that I, in case I am a trader, I have got so and so bulk available? It's telecommunication. Once this telecommunication has been taken place, the deal is finalized, we need to do something which is called as the transportation of material. From Navsari, it should go to Surat or Bhopal or Delhi or Jabalpur or Kolkata, wherever it is being required. And let us sum up all this thing in what the textbook is telling us, that we are seeing the various services in tertiary sector being taking place, like the trade, communication, then various methods of transfer of products, be it airways, waterways, railways or pipelines. Then we talk about education. This is again a service being provided. We're talking about the health, we're talking about the banking, insurance, the tourism, entertainment. These are all included in this particular sector. So one sector is dependent upon the second, and second is dependent upon the third. And this is how the whole economy works. Various services, again a recap. we are talking about is the trade, we're talking about communication, telecommunication. We are talking about airways, waterways, or we're talking about the railways, we are talking about education, we are talking about the health, we are talking about the banking sector, we are talking about tourism, we are talking about entertainment. These are all those things which are going to be required to be present so that the secondary or the primary or tertiary can take place. Normally, this is what usual status is, that primary sector dominates in developing country. And because we are talking about exclusively about India, we can see it very often that the primary sector, agriculture and agriculture related things, or mining sector or cattle rearings, these are all those things which are predominantly found out here. ज़्यादातर यही देखने को मिलता है. Primary sector contributes sufficiently. Most of the people are going to get employed in the primary sector, and they are going to generate something which is called as the national income. Again, going back to the where we have initially learnt about something called as the national income or the gross domestic product, through which we had seen the per capita income being generated. However, there is rise in economic development. Significance of primary sector decreases in comparison to the secondary and service sector, and importance of industrial sector and service sector increases. We have to think about something called as development. Other day we had learnt about something called as a positive balance of trade and negative balance of trade. In case you remember it, in case not, what we had learned, in case import that is coming inside, its value is more and the export value is less, we will be calling it as a negative balance of trade. And in the scenario wherein the export value is more and import value is less, we call it as a positive. So the condition we have to think over, the sector in developing economy is bound to be the one which is primarily based upon agriculture. But we all know that agriculture or agriculture related products are relatively cheap in comparison to the second and the third sector. Second sector means we are talking about secondary sector. Mango on one side, sugarcane on one side, and a big machine on one side. Genset, generator, AC. These are all manufactured products. So we cannot compare the price. Sugarcane perhaps is coming at 22 rupees a kg, 23 rupees a kg. But the machine itself, which is 8 or 10 kgs in weight only, is going to be costing 50,000 rupees. So there is a huge difference. We cannot actually compare. And this is what we see, that those economies which are primarily based upon the primary sector tends to be shifting from the primary sector to the secondary and the tertiary or the service sector. The reason is we require to have more of the income generated. Developing economy, we are changing, we are developing. And how we are developing? This is being talked out here, that from agriculture based sector, we are simply shifting to the manufacturing or the service sector. Once this particular topic is over, we have to learn about the factors of production. That means we are moving to that scenario wherein we learn about how exactly the production is carried out. अभी प्रोडक्शन के लिए बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल हमने देखे थे, मैंगो पल्प से लेकर और मशीन्स तक. दोनों केसेस के अंदर में एक चीज कॉमन थी और वो चीज थी एक यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन। पहली चीज देखने को मिली थी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में, हमको चाहिए थी छोटी सी जगह, बड़ी सी जगह जहां पर कंस्ट्रक्शन हो सके। कंस्ट्रक्शन, इन केस यू रिमेंबर, इट केम इन द सेकेंडरी सेक्टर। बट how you are going to construct certain things or manufacture certain things? We require certain building materials which is going to be natural being converted into some another form for which we are utilizing in construction. Once construction is over, land has to be taken, construction is carried out. Now talk about the machines. Those machines have been manufactured using certain raw material. I've got a machine manufactured of aluminium, pure aluminium. So, got it from the ore, bauxite. If it is iron manufactured machine, I've taken the raw material as iron ore, extracted it, converted it into something called as iron or steel or a combination of it, and then manufactured the machine. So, what we see is that land is available on which construction was carried out. The construction, purchasing of the machines or manufacturing of machines will require some money. That will be your second topic which we'll be learning. Money input has to be there for purchasing of the land, purchasing of the machines, and so on, raw materials. But who is going to carry out those activities? We require certain persons who can be technical or semi-technical work, knowledge holders, whom we call as the labor. And the fourth thing, we will require someone whom we call as the entrepreneur or the businessman. Now, this particular person is going to club all these things together and the production starts to roll. One by one, we will be going into detail about it along with certain examples so that it becomes really clear. So, factors of production, what we see is, so production is done with the help of natural resources and labor. This thing has to be very much clear. Different types of tools are used for production. Now, those tools can be conveyor belt to huge machines, to the trucks manufactured, everything is going to be there. The tools, like very raw form, is bullocks or bullock carts. We can have the tractors, I can have is the sickle, the shovel, कुछ भी ऐसी चीजें. Labor will be required, and to suffice where it is going to get carried out, the land has to be there. So these are all going to get associated with the production of, let us say, food grain. बैल भी चाहिए, हल चलाने के लिए आदमी भी चाहिए, फसल काटने के लिए कुछ मशीन्स चाहिए. तो ये सारे कॉम्बिनेशंस निकल कर आ रहे हैं और मेरे को आउटपुट मिल रहा है, प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है. So there are different types of factors of production, but to make study easy, we are going to divide them into four. This particular question, that is factors of production, itself is going to carry a 2 marks question. It has been there. Structure of Indian economy, a 3 marks question is there. Factors of production, it is a 2 marks question. You might be asked to give only what is factor of production is and what are its parts. And in case it is talked about to elaborate upon, it is going to shift from 2 to 3. That's all. You have to remember, everything remains the same. So factors of production, it has been divided into 4 broad categories. First one is the land. Second one is going to be the power of production. A very important line. because we will be again categorizing the various tools for production, be it a natural or a man-made. That is again an objective type of question. The second one we talk about is capital, money. It is a man-made instrument. When we talk about any money, we don't have anything being given to us by nature. It is actually our brain which has thought of converting certain metal or paper into certain agreements. अगर देखा होगा नोट पर, any particular note, you will find that it is written, I promise to pay the bearer the amount of so and so rupees. This is for Indian currency, everyone might go through it. So it is just an undertaking on a piece of paper. And this is a concept which was generated by us humans only. Nature never gave us anything like this. So it is a man-made instrument, and it helps in the production process, such as the tools, houses, etc. These are all included in the capital. The property, the assets, the investments. Now, certain words are given out here. We're talking about the property. So you can understand what a property means. Property can be a small hut to Antalya. That is Mr. Ambani's house. The property can be a small land on which agriculture is carried out, or a small land which is just lying like this, which is in my custody. When we talk about the assets, assets are those commodities which, when sell in the market, can give you the capital. So, the cell phone I'm using, it is an asset. At any time I can sell it out in the open market and might be getting some amount of money in lieu of it. And when we talk about the investment, it is investing the money into certain things of which the returns will be due after some duration of time. I'm constructing a factory. Once that factory starts to run or manufacture, then only the returns will be coming back through the process called as the profit. So the capital itself is going to be divided into various forms, but the point to remember is it is a man-made resource. For that reason, the topic number one, when we talked about, that is the land, we have talked exclusively that it is going to be a natural resource. Anyway, moving to the third one we have got is the labor. Now, usually what a concept is there in our mind, labor means mazdoor. But actually you talk about, then labor doesn't really means who do physical activities. Digging up of some pit, laying down on the stones, driving a car. So any physical activity, yes, it is there, but even the mental activities is also included in the labor. There are certain persons who are highly trained sitting on a computer and doing various activities. But again, we will be calling them as a part of workforce, labor force. Some are doing manual work and some are doing the technical work related with sitting and using the mind. And for that reason, labor means mental or physical work. And why it should be done? This is being done so that the money can be obtained. Now, I am doing no physical work, to be very precise, just jotting down some names, writing down on the board, and I will be getting compensated for doing the same thing. And same thing can be now reflected in a gardener of your school who is actually sitting out there and doing all sort of physical activities. But the aim remains the common for both of us. And what is it? that at the end of the day, I will be getting compensated through the form of money. So, labor, again, we talk about, it means mental or physical work done by any person in lieu of, बदले में, किस चीज के लिए? Monetary gains. A sentence again becomes important. It is the living factor of production. Now, what does living factor of production? It can grow, it can reduce, it can expand, it can contract. So words are there. And the person who is doing might not be able to continue to do forever, till infinity. So there is a blockage time. एक समय तक आदमी काम करेगा, उसके बाद moves out, some another one will be coming. It is the one which has got the life. Now, example of it we have got is the work of farm laborers who's doing a physical work. We have got the workers being present in various factories. We have got the teachers, we have got the doctors, we have got the artists. These are all called as labor. So, a brief idea with explanation what all the labor is. Moving on to the fourth one, which is called as the entrepreneurship. Now, as I have talked in the very starting, these three different factors which we have already learned, that is the land, capital and labor, they are all segregated, and it might be possible they are not in contact with one another. Land is there in Jammu, the capital is there in the bank, labor is sitting in Delhi, but there will be some person who is actually going to bring all the three fractions together. ये एक ऐसा आदमी होगा जो पैसा under one roof, एक छत के नीचे, मतलब working for a common goal. So the person who efficiently combines the three factors of production, that is the land, we are talking about the capital and labor, will be called as the entrepreneur. And the process will be called as entrepreneurship. The process of coordinating. His work is simply a coordination. Where the land is, where the capital is, where the labor is, let us put them together so that the returns can start to be generated. So they are the one, those group of people whom we call as entrepreneurs or businessmen. They are the one who are actually coordinating the three factors of production, and this process is in turn called as entrepreneurship. So, a quick recap again of what we have done. The factors of production, in which we had exclusively talked about something called as the land, capital, labor or entrepreneurship. Structure of Indian economy has been completed. Factors of production has been completed. Any anthroporation means atheistic game. Atheistic game, I can have your name please? Atheistic game, can I have your name please? I'm waiting for an answer, बच्चे. Okay, fine. You want to remain hidden. First thing first, it is not androprison. It is, the spelling is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur. Here the spelling is entrepreneurship. But the pronunciation is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. And entrepreneurship is a process of coordinating the three factors of production. Which three factors you're talking about? The land. Talking about the capital and labor. वो आदमी जो इन तीन चीजों को एक साथ खड़ा कर दे, एक साथ बिठा दे, एक साथ काम करने दे, जिसकी वजह से बिजनेस एक्टिविटी चल पड़े, उस आदमी को हम बोलेंगे एंटरप्रेन्योर, बिजनेसमैन. नॉर्मल भाषा में हम उसको बिजनेसमैन बोलते हैं. एंड अ मोर रिफाइंड फॉर्म इज एंटरप्रेन्योर. तो वो आदमी जिसने इन तीनों फैक्टर्स को एक साथ कर दिया. पहले अलग अलग थे. लैंड का मैंने एग्जांपल दिया, इट इज डिफरेंट. द कैपिटल इज फार अवे, वी हैव गॉट द लेबर अवे. तो इसने, एक आदमी ने इन सब चीजों को एक साथ जमा कर दिया और प्रोडक्शन चालू करवा दिया. तो प्रोडक्शन के लिए वी नीड the land, the construction, the machines, the raw materials, the labor, the money which is required. When all these things are going to get clubbed together, and this is being done with the help of one or few people, those people will be called as the businessmen. Now you got it? Did you get it, बच्चे? Welcome anytime. But actually, what is your name? Rudra. Okay. See, this way we can have a mutual communication. Because keeping this sort of name is not going to be helpful at all. Tomorrow, when we will be logging in together, I want you to be logging in with your name, so I can have a communication with you. Okay? Now moving on to something which is called as the distribution of factors of production. We have just learned about factors of production. 4 factors were there. How we are seeing the distribution being carried out. Now, human wants are unlimited. Other day I had perhaps made you go through it. You wanted one slice of bread, then you forget, no, I don't want one slice, I need to have two slices. Then you need to have a glass of milk. Now, along with the milk, you need to have something which is chocolate added to it. And perhaps you want something which is like the ice cubes or something like this. Some sugar in it, honey in it. Now, only slice is not required. Let's put some jam over it or some sauces there. So, once one requirement gets over, you tend to jump to the next one. I had given an example about I was walking. Now, I dreamt about something called as a bicycle. Once I got the bicycle, why not a scooty? Once I got a scooty, why not a bike? Once I got a bike, why not a car? So, the demand is always being created. हमेशा बनी हुई है. ये खत्म तो दूसरी तैयार. And this is what says that human wants are unlimited. While resources which are going to be used for fulfilling those demands, they are always limited. You cannot have the unlimited resources justifying your unlimited demand. Had it been there, तो कोई problem ही नहीं थी. Unlimited demand, unlimited resources, दोनों match करना. But problem कहाँ आ रही है? Problem आ रही है, demands unlimited है, लेकिन resources confined है, बंद है. बस इतनी है. So, what we can understand exactly that no nation, no country in the world has resources in unlimited quantity. हर एक के पास में कुछ ना कुछ एक बंदिश है, एक रुकावट है, बस इससे ज्यादा है ही. India has got plenty and plenty of coal, but that plenty and plenty of coal has got a limit. It is not infinity. It is going to get over either now or after some time. That means there is a limitation. So there will be always scarcity of the factors of production. तो हमारे पास में अब इस चीज से, क्योंकि हर एक चीज हमारे पास लिमिटेड ही दे रखी है नेचर ने, हमारी जरूरत अनलिमिटेड बन गई है, तो क्या हो गया, हमको हमेशा एक रुकावट महसूस होती रहेगी. एक कहीं पर पॉइंट लगा रहेगा, एक कॉमा लगा रहेगा, that the scarcity is always going to be there in the factors of production. As a result, what is going to happen? Nearly all the countries, they face problems related to the allocation of resources. कौन सी चीज को पहले खर्च करें, कौन सी चीज को रोक के रखें, इसको कब खर्च करें, इसको कब रोकें, क्योंकि हर एक रिसोर्स की एक अपनी लिमिट है. अब आपको दिमाग यूज करना है, एक कोशिश करते रहना है कि थोड़ा ये यूज कर लिया, फिर इसको रोक लिया, फिर ये बढ़ा दिया, रोक दिया, ताकि सारे रिसोर्सेज लगभग एक साथ चलते रहे. प्रॉब्लम वहां पर आ रही है दैट डिमांड इज ऑलवेज हाई. सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस दे अराइज such as why, when and how much quantity of the limited resources can be used and in which procedure. Demand unlimited और resources limited. तो अब बस हम यही सोच में लगे रहते हैं, इसको जाने दो, नहीं इसको रोक लो, इसको जाने दो, इसको रोक दो. ये कंडीशन हमेशा चलती रहती है. तो lots and lots of questions do keep on drifting in the mind. Why we should be using the resource, when we should be using the resource, how much we should be using the resource. And this is basically the gist of the topic, that is distribution of factors of production. So very first point is unlimited wants. जरूरतें कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाली. जरूरत से निकलकर दूसरी जरूरत रेडी हो जाती है. So human wants are uncountable and unlimited. So many wants originate from one want. At present, you'll see n numbers of soft drinks, cold drinks, packaged mineral water. What is it? This is the requirement to get justifying out there. कहीं ना कहीं हम कुछ ना कुछ ढूंढ रहे हैं, जोड़ रहे हैं, ताकि जो हमारी अनलिमिटेड डिमांड्स हैं उनको हम रेक्टिफाई कर सकें. Many requirements are to be fulfilled again and again, while many wants arise because of development of science and technology. Food, you cannot stop it. But internet utility, it has been generated by us because we started using the science and technology. We developed this particular thing and now our dependency is going to be there. So many reasons are seen becomes that wants becomes unlimited. अब चाहे खाने को ले लो, चाहे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को ले लो, चाहे मोबाइल फोन्स या नेटवर्क्स विच आर बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड उनको ले लो, यहाँ कुछ हमने खुद डेवलप कर लिए, कुछ नेचर की वजह से हैं. Those persons who are going to be living, they will be requiring some food, they require some water. So it is but obvious a natural process. And those who are living and earning might be going for new sophisticated cell phones. That is what we have generated. So in order to fulfill the wants, one has to make selection among the wants. अब ये choice तुमको रखनी है. You prefer going for good food or a good cell phone. In case you want so much of electricity, be prepared that you will be polluting the environment. Now, choice has to be there, and according to this demand, you have to fulfill what exactly is your requirement and what is not. So, this talks about the unlimited wants. We will be continuing the second topic onwards tomorrow. And in case of any problems regarding the topics which we have learned today, do flash a message. Till then, stay at home and be safe.